Here I am.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to Creative Exploration with Pers, and my guest today is Ryan on the Inside. You guys might know him from his nodes and stuff that we went through last week with Jafufu. We were playing around with his audio reactivity nodes and some other fun workflows and stuff, but I'll let Ryan explain who he is. So, hello, Ryan. Please tell the people who you is.
Here I am. I am Ryan. Yeah, I'm an avid ComfyUI user and contributor, or I try to be, and yeah, happy to be here. I guess I'll tell you a little bit more about myself. So I was a software engineer and didn't find it to be super fulfilling. So then I pursued a career in music, and I was doing that. I was like a touring musician, studio musician, all that for like the last several years, but it doesn't really pay the bills. So I'm back to software and found ComfyUI to be like the perfect intersection of those two facets of my life. And I'm absolutely obsessed with it. Yeah, and so happy to be here. Just even for you to ask me to come on is really awesome. So thank you.
No, man, you've been killing it lately, and yeah, man. And I'm a musician too. That's how I got into this stuff. So we're probably kindred spirits in that way.
For sure. I noticed that it was Pers Beats.
Yeah.
So yeah. What kind of music?
Well, I was a drummer and a band leader for like 20 years. Then pandemic
nice.
Kind of killed live music for everybody. And I just deep dove into this stuff and 3D stuff and After Effects and all that
like
stuff.
During
because I was doing that, like I was making visuals for the bands and stuff, but then AI came out shortly after lockdown. Well, it didn't come out, but you know what I mean. It got more useful. Then just dove in hard on that stuff. After doing like 3 Blender tutorials a day and that kind of stuff, and just pushing deep into visuals. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I touched on Blender for a minute there. I did found that before I found ComfyUI. It didn't really call to me in the same way.
Right.
Probably because this is I can easily. I'm familiar with Python, very familiar with Python. So this just made a lot of sense. I started enjoying it right away.
Well, that's the thing I always try to explain to people about Comfy. It's it's less of a art tool and more of a Python workflow automation system. And you can make art with it, but it at its core, it's for processing things and turning things into things and
and
that kind of stuff. So
I found that at a certain point, there's this threshold as a ComfyUI user that you hit. And when you hit this threshold, you can now use it fluently. You can use it as if it were a paintbrush or something. But it took me a while to get to that point. And it's not like I've mastered it or anything, but I can read the matrix, as it were.
Yeah, because Comfy forces you to learn the entire diffusion process, really. It forces you to understand all the components. But then once you do, then you can just start slapping the components together modularly, and it's like a giant modular synth, right?
Yeah. It's stuff so cool. And it's so powerful. It supports literally anything. You can do anything. Here. You can do this.
I forgot you made Doom. We got Doom in Comfy now. We got Doom everywhere.
Yeah. Anyone wants to give it a shot, go for it. But that's a stupid example because you can do serious stuff in anything at all that you want can be implemented in ComfyUI. It's infinitely powerful. I love it.
And so today you're going to show us a little of this stuff you've been working on, which is...
I've been working with real-time diffusion lately.
Super cool.
Yeah, man. I just found it's really fascinating. And it's a sort of a new little obsession for me. Yeah.
So and you're doing it on the cloud too, which is really exciting because as you know, this real-time diffusion takes quite a bit of beefy GPU to do, and it's kind of actually hard to do it locally because you kind of need your machine to do other stuff locally as well. So I like this concept of getting it on, on the cloud and sending and just shitting frames at it. It's kind of awesome.
Yeah. And so I'm doing it in the cloud because I have a potato for a computer. But if you have a 4090 locally, you can do this perfectly, and it's fine. And stream diffusion is like one of the ways that you can do it, and it's like kind of lightweight, to be honest. But I've only really benchmarked this process with a 4090 in the cloud. But I'm actually the so-called mentor in a hackathon right now for this live diffusion stuff, and several people have set up their development environments locally, so it is totally doable, and in fact so much easier. You don't have to worry about feeding frames over the network. So I've been working on this. So anyone who's familiar with the work that I've done in ComfyUI, this so-called flex features system, basically the goal of the flex features is, you can take audio or whatever and modulate parameters of nodes over time. So it's like an attempt at sort of a timeline system in ComfyUI. And I mean hundreds of nodes, piles and piles of code in order to be able to modulate the dilation of a mask or whatever. Yeah. And it's hilarious because in this real-time stuff, I did all of that with 3 nodes. Right. Because the challenge that I tackled with the flex features is that this happens in the batch paradigm. So like all that work, and I just did the same thing with 3 nodes. But you're feeding it frame by frame, so it's so much easier than like trying to deal with batches in that sense. Right. Since we're sending one frame at a time, we can just manage the state, and like change it. We can just change it every time. Touch designer nerds know exactly what you're talking about. Because when they see what we're doing with Comfy, they're like, yeah, but it could just be real time. You're like, yeah, but Animate Diff doesn't do that, so but not yet. But yeah. But this is a way to bridge the gap, because like I don't know if you know Dot Simulate Lyle. He's got a whole stream diffusion set up for Touch Designer. Really? He's gonna be on the stream next week. Or week after, I can't remember, but we're gonna dive into his stuff, and he's got like this whole workflow for integrating stream diffusion and TensorRT stuff with Touch Designer, so that you can do all he basically gives you everything you have access to in Touch Designer as an input mask for stream diffusion, which is like killer combo. Yeah, man, that's insane. So somebody mentioned to me that stream diffusion in Touch Designer. It's probably this guy, this gentleman. Yeah, Lyle. Yeah, Lyle. Cool. Yeah. Very, very cool. I've also been working on a TensorRT implementation of stream diffusion. Yeah, so much faster. Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. And I have a little video clip that I can show, but my dev environment for that is broken. I tried to get it running before this, but it just, when it comes to networking stuff, I operate on like 60% superstition. Right. I don't know how it works. I just know that it's supposed to, and it wasn't. Right. So I'm working. So anyways, I explained what the flex features like ultimately is supposed to do. It's supposed to solve this problem of modulating things over time and make a timeline in a batch paradigm. So obvious, of course, when I was introduced to this real-time stuff, I was like, oh, maybe I can do the same thing, so I don't have to be creative at all. I could just try to do the same, accomplish the same objective. So that's what I've been doing, and I've been attacking it from two directions. One direction is so this is using a package called ComfyStream, written by the powerful Yondon.
I'll throw the link. I'll throw the link in the chat for everybody here.
Hell yeah! And he's the man. And what he did is basically made a wrapper for ComfyUI that you shoot frames at ComfyUI. ComfyStream just intercepts them, feeds them to Comfy, predicts the whatever, and then gets them back and sends them back to your client.
Nice.
Yeah, it's super cool. So I made a few little modifications to it so that it like gets and receives all the node information of the workflow that you're running, so that on the front end you can update node parameters. So here I'll show this little video. And I've updated it since I did this video. Like it looks a little bit better and whatever. So this is with a RAL dissolve LoRA or something, slime LoRA or whatever. So it allows it. What I added were these dynamic control panels that lets you update things in real time. So that last one was with TensorRT. This one is,
we're just seeing your Comfy window. I might
oh shit. Okay. My bad.
Need to share the other thing on
I probably need to do that.
Share your screen as opposed to the
yeah. Okay. Do I do stop sharing here?
I think you can, and then you can just send me the other link through Discord and I'll pop it back through. Don't worry, we always have these technical difficulties on stream. Everything's fine.
Sweet.
How's everybody doing tonight? Hello, Junkie. Hello, Pirate. Hello, Jovi. Hello, Akatz. Melting Province.
Akatz, what's up?
We love Akatz.
Yes, we do.
Akatz dropped his ComfyUI environment manager today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, baby.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That was fast.
I know.
What an animal.
Absolute
animal. Am I sharing my screen?
Let me check the thing. I think you are sharing something. I see your browser window now with the Video Ninja link. Let me see here. We are almost doing things correctly.
Nice.
Yeah, I still got your browser window.
With what's in it?
Right now you're streaming a feedback loop of a bunch of of the
nice.
of the preview window.
Okay, sweet.
But maybe if you disconnect that and then reconnect with the screen, it should do it. Maybe.
Yeah. I was trying to move there's like a little floating entire screen. There we go. Okay, how about now?
I think that. Yeah, there we go.
All right, sweet. Okay, that took entirely.
Akatz says sort of dropped. It's in beta.
Okay, sick.
Beta equals final.
Yeah. It's basically done as far as I'm concerned. I tend to do things to beta and then get bored.
Right?
So, yeah.
Yeah, as long as it's not an alpha, it's done, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, so this is the ComfyStream interface. And it's simple. So I wish I had it running so we could do it interactively, but basically you when you start this up, you select a workflow. You save a workflow in API format, and then you just load that API format into ComfyStream, and it shoots it at the ComfyStream server, which runs this instance of ComfyUI and then sends it back to you.
Nice.
And yeah, so the modification that I made was adding these dynamic control panels that here, I'll just play the video. And so this is a TensorRT
wow, that's fast
implementation. So this what I added was the ability to get all of the information about all of the nodes in the workflow, and then update any of the nodes in real time. So you can have a dynamic number of those control panels pointing at whatever in the workflow. And then this is turbo with no acceleration. I don't remember how it looks, but
oh wow,
this is the gist of it.
Yeah, that's silly fast.
Yeah, it's not bad. With TensorRT, it's even better. This is with no acceleration right now. So that's the gist of it. So I've been attacking it from that angle, like dynamically updating prompts from the front end, and then I've also been attacking it from this angle, which is like stateful nodes that change over time. Let me see if I set this up right. Yeah. Give this a shot. Yeah. Why is this so slow? It's crazy slow. Anyways, see the mask is changing size.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. It's I'm using like a gigantic image, so that's why it doesn't work. And I don't know why this is going so slow. This should be like so fast, this auto cue for this, but that's the idea. Is these stateful nodes? We were just running this image to image essentially workflow here, one frame at a time, and this will allow us to modulate parameters frame by frame.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, so far I've got like int, float, and string controls, and then I just introduced sequence controls, so you can do things in like in an ordered sequence. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna probably expand it from there. I'm totally fascinated with this stuff.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. All this real-time stuff is like, I mean, obviously real-time is the future. Like processing footage is so 2024.
Yeah, dude. And yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking, sort of, is gonna go places.
Well, yeah, and people like, iterating in real time, as anyone who's ever worked in any software that does that knows, is far superior to changing some settings and hitting render and going and making a coffee and coming back and seeing how badly you fucked up.
Yeah. And
it's nice to be able to slide a slider and see what it does,
Yeah, and like, it's just it's a lot of fun. It's a different type of fun for sure. Yeah. So there's maybe a slightly better demonstration.
Oh, that's cool, yeah.
Just so you can sort of get an idea of what it's doing. Steps per cycle. I don't know. There we go.
Yeah, it seems like the ComfyStream thing also maybe gets rid of that bottleneck in the UI, because I've noticed that when you're doing like cues like this in the UI, it is slower than, just feeding API information right into like a headless Comfy and having it do its business.
Exactly. There's definitely some overhead with the interface, and there's even a little bit of overhead with the ComfyUI stuff, but we found some ways to sort of skip some of it.
Yeah, that's
just like strategically not doing certain things. But what's really interesting about ComfyStream, and he actually Yondon, the author, gave a presentation the other day for this hackathon, and gave some really cool insight as to why he like the way that he built it and why he built it that way. So there's this fork of ComfyUI, hidden switch it's called, which makes it like a package. So that's how he managed to do it here. There's other ways you could implement something like this, but that's I think he said he did it for expediency's sake.
Yeah,
and that's it. But very cool stuff.
Yeah, getting the information in and out is the bottleneck, really. It's so cool you can do it over like run pod and stuff too, because like yeah, like I was saying, I have a 3090 myself, which is great. I have 24 gigs of VRAM. Happy about that, but it is nowhere near as fast as a 4090.
Yeah, I've got a 1050.
Yeah. I had a 1660 for a while, and
Nice.
yeah, that sucked.
Yeah, I've been holding off, and I think I'm gonna try to get a 5090.
Yeah.
Because I earned it. I deserve it, right?
Yeah,
I should
exactly.
do something nice for myself. But I can, I can justify it. Say, pretend I'll use it for work or whatever.
Used car 5090, whatever.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, I skipped the 4090 and I've been waiting for the 5090. But yeah, I mean, you have to fight a scalper or something to get one. I think it's going to be tough to get one.
But you think so? The 50. Okay.
These guys are good at scalping.
Yeah, probably have to. It's a mess with the bots, probably too.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if you have a local computer store or something that like they have a lineup or something, you might be able to get one. But like trying to get one online, I think is going to be tough. But at least they'll be on Vast and RunPod like that day. So YOLO.
They probably are the ones with the bots.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they probably got them before the public, but I do have a computer store near me. Maybe I'll go sit outside. I've never waited overnight in front of a store.
This would be the thing to do it for.
Yeah, I think so. Probably.
Or GTA 6, either one.
Yeah, when's that coming out?
If we get 5090s before GTA 6.
Yeah, Come on. Don't play with my heart like this. Imagine if they came out on the same day.
Oh my god. It'd be a race to get it in my computer.
Yeah, so that's a little about what I'm working on at the moment. What else should I talk about? I could talk about all the other stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about your node pack. Let's talk about some of the problems you've been squashing with your nodes, because I think a lot of people are interested in your approach to this thing, because like a lot of people, me myself included, rely on ControlNet for masking, but a lot of your stuff feeds right into the VA encoder, which is an interesting way of sort of attacking audio reactivity.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the latent. What is it? Yeah, like this. You mean the latent interpolation thing?
Yeah, I mean, I only played with two. I played with the slime workflow, and the one of the other ones, the mask dilation, I think.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, those were. I'm glad you tried it out. The workflows are honestly sort of incidental to the
just learn how they work and stuff.
Yeah, I should probably take more care when I put those workflows out, It's I often leave them like a total mess. Sure.
That's okay.
Yeah. Maybe I can go over give a high level of the nodes.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of crap in this node pack. There's particle full blown particle systems. Full-blown particle systems. What else is there? There's you can go here. Let's go check it out.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna drop the link for the node pack here.
Cool. So yeah, there's particle systems, optical flow, audio and MIDI processing, some rudimentary filtering with audio source separation, so you can separate the instruments in a song. But all of this is integrated with the crowning jewel of the nodes, which is this flex feature system. So this system enables you to control targets like IPadapters, masks, images, videos, yada, 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 using data sources like audio or motion or time, MIDI, any of these things that I've exposed
Awesome.
You can use them to control anything else in my node suite. Like you can control particle emitters, or you can control, masks. I've hooked it into some external stuff, like into a weights strategy for the IPAdapter. But so I've got a bunch of crap in this node pack, but all I really care about is this feature system, because it enables you to do a whole lot, because it's very modular. So at a high level, we take a feature, which is just a data source. We can modify it a little bit if we want, and then we control a target with it. And the targets, I sort of mentioned this, they consist a lot of ways to control masks, a lot of ways to control images, external stuff like IP adapters with this. I actually hooked. Are you familiar with Yan's audio-reactive workflow that he made?
Yeah.
It's sick. It's dope. So I actually hacked my nodes into his nodes the other day. So you can use these features. I'll maybe talk about that later. But so feature sources consist of any of these things: audio, MIDI, motion, brightness, depth, and the key is that they are all normalized into one data type, which is this feature here. Just the feature output from any of these is interchangeable downstream. And then, I have like some stuff to, I actually was messing around with this before. So here I have an audio feature. Like I've extracted a feature from these drums from this song. And then I made a couple of manual features. Like I just basically drew a feature. It looks like this.
Okay.
This is what the audio feature from the drums looks like. It's like 4 to the floor, so that's sort of expected. And then I drew these 2 manual features here. Just simple like lines. So this is an example of this next piece of the system right here, which allows you to modulate the features before you use them. Like you can tailor them specifically to your needs. And here's one example: the feature fade node. So it takes these 2 features and fades between them using this value here.
Nice.
So
which you can also control with a feature.
Yeah, dude, I was gonna do that. So the modularity is like ridiculous here.
Yeah.
So here you get exactly what you expect when you combine these 2 things together. Let me stop this workflow from running. Oh no. Okay. Make sure I have it. So you get exactly what you would expect, which is a flat line when you combine these 2 things together with equal weight.
Right.
But let's go ahead and plug the audio feature in as the control feature. And this is typically how things work in this node suite, is like you plug a feature into something and then often you can choose what you're going to modulate. Let's go ahead and run it. So that, I don't know what the use case is for this, like modulating a mask in this way. I'm not sure. This could produce a very
crossfading stuff together, maybe.
Yeah. So it would definitely be weird. Weird looking. But there's not better, but there's more useful ones too. Like this mixer is one that I use all the time. It allows you to just change some fundamental stuff about it, like turn up the gain for the whole thing. So features are normalized from 0 to 1 by default, but we can expand them.
Yeah, that's good for anybody who's ever done audio reactivity. Sometimes, it's too crazy or not crazy enough, and you need to like adjust what it's doing, but you don't want to lose the actual audio reactivity part that you're trying to get.
Exactly. And furthermore, sometimes there's like noise in the audio, and it's like, or maybe you want to get rid of the hi-hat or something. You can do that with by setting this threshold here, so anything below like 0.2, you could just ignore. so that one's pretty useful. Then there's other ones like oscillator, where you would take here. Let me see if we can actually I'll show you. I don't know if it's worth it, but take a feature. Which one did I just plug in there? A manual one. So we're gonna have this. See what it does. Yeah. So let's feed it the drum one instead. See what it looks like. So you can see that
sick,
it oscillates. So you can get really, really creative. Like it goes really deep, and we're just at the feature modulators here. So there's other really useful ones, like math, smoothing, other stuff, whatever. Rebase is a good one. This will just like let you change the threshold for things. This isn't even the one I was looking for, but all right. So we get our features from something like audio, MIDI, proximity, time, depth, color, like any of these things all work interchangeably. So, you could have one feature for the audio, and that, like, say you've got a chick dancing or something, you could have the audio like modulate the background, but have her own movement modulate her.
Oh, interesting.
Like apply an IPAdapter to her at different strengths, given like her average movement. There's like thousands of ways you could use it. So we've got these feature sources, and then we can modulate the features before we use them, and then we use them on targets. Here's an example. Is mask morph, and this offers several ways to morph a mask, like dilate, open, close, yada yada yada. I almost feel like I should preview it. I wasn't like prepared. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. That's what we're.
Yeah, I don't think I have this. Let's see, Boxer mask. Okay, see if that works.
Nice.
And this, a motion feature. I feel like we should do audio. It's so much cooler. Is this the right thing? Where am I? Who am I, bro?
I know this feeling.
Yeah.
How sick is that spacebar trick?
Oh, dude.
Game changer. If nobody knows what I'm talking about, if you're holding a noodle and you need to move the screen, you can hit spacebar while you're holding the noodle, so you don't have to like let go and like zoom out. And
the nice. Time that it would have saved me if I knew that from the start.
Yeah, exactly. Same with the shift dragging multiple outputs and stuff. Like moving outputs from one node to another. Like, the amount of times I've just rewired an entire workflow because I didn't know you could do that.
Same. Get node. How about these get set and get nodes though?
No, they're great. I end up not using them that much unless I'm building out a workflow that I'm going to use again, because I'll forget what I'm setting and getting. But variables are like clutch. You need variables in software like this. So being able to get and set variables is like super handy.
What do you think for like sharing workflows? Do you think these get and set nodes are helpful for people or the opposite? Like for new users,
Yeah, for new users, I don't think they're that helpful because they're like wormhole, black hole portals, right? So I think that it can be like confusing to a new user, but also it eliminates the number of noodles, which doesn't freak them out as much. So yeah, I don't know.
True.
Yeah, I don't know.
See if this works, dude.
But yeah, if they understand what they are, then they're handy. But yeah, I think just getting a workflow that's full of get and set nodes, you're just kind of like, where does anything go? I don't understand how this works.
Yeah, it's I think I probably agree with the. It's just better for me. Honestly.
Good to see the noodles, but if you're sick of seeing the noodles, they're great.
Yeah. You ever try the use anywhere nodes? Like there's a couple of different.
Yeah, they're cool. And the bus, there's a bus nodes too that are really nice. You can feed stuff into a bus and then pass it back out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think they're part of RG3's nodes.
Oh, dude, yeah. I'm a big fan of
and his
RG3.
his group bypasser is fantastic. You just throw it at the front of your workflow and like group anything you want to be able to bypass, and they're just all listed right there. You can be like, oh, I'm going to turn off control net. I'm going to turn off this.
Yeah, and what about this
handy
extra progress bar at the top? That's thanks to him.
Yeah, lets you know what Comfy's doing. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So that took way too long to demonstrate that one stupid thing, but
yeah, that's the idea. You can take a variable, use that to affect something in your workflow, and
to
pass it to something else.
Yeah, and and then there's a bunch of different stuff you can do with the mask, like morph it, warp it, bop it,
I was gonna say bop it, twist it.
Yeah. Opacity and stuff, and I can show you like an actual use case with opacity. So masks are a target, images are a target, and all of these image ones work without features too. So if you just need a pair, like a posterized node or a edge detect, a chromatic aberration node, these work without features too. So they're just like regular image ones, and so these allow you to, if you do use the feature, which can be powerful, you can select the parameter that you want to modulate. For this particular one, you can do shift amount or angle or none. And that's how all of these nodes operate.
Very cool.
Yeah, and then there's external features finally, and it's been a while since I thought about this. Let me see. So this is what I did. This feature to float, believe it or not, is all I had to do to get my nodes to work with Yan's nodes.
Right. Just convert them to a float.
Yeah. So and I'm like screwing with one of his workflows right here. It's a nightmare. I'm just experimenting, but so normally his audio peaks from these things would go in right here. For anyone familiar with this workflow. And now you can just pass in a feature. So, you get a slightly more sophisticated handling of the audio of the data, pretty much. Amazing. With my my feature modulation stuff. So you get this slightly more sophisticated way that you can feed this workflow, and you can do other things besides audio. Like for instance, we could do a manual feature and literally select the frames that we want to so this workflow takes images as input and then uses peaks in audio to like morph from one image to the other. Just for anyone who's not familiar with it, this is a terrible example of it. Well,
but it is doing the thing.
Yeah, it's doing what it's supposed to. It's my fault that it sucks right there. But so theoretically, with this manual feature, we could just specify the frames that we want to. Like, it doesn't have to be audio reactive. Now we could just say, I want it to switch images at frame 32 and frame 79 and frame 104.
Which you can pair with prompt travel.
Yep. So that's one. I should probably just do that pretty quick. Like do a feature to prompt travel node, where
like the batch scheduler or whatever.
Yeah, you could like set a prompt like for a feature greater than 1. You could have a prompt, and then for a feature.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
5, you could have a prompt. So then you could oscillate through the prompts, and it we could feed it to the fizz node batch scheduler. Mm-hmm. So the ways that I can tie this into other stuff is sort of off the charts,
Yeah, that's like speaks to the modularity of Comfy, and all these node packs can absolutely work together if you.
Exactly.
If you can dream it, you can do it.
Exactly. And I added, since I made this little tutorial workflow, I added a bunch of stuff like video. So video as a target.
Oh yeah.
video speed or something. Yeah, speed and
yeah, the retiming stuff. That stuff's awesome.
And like video seek, I think I called it. Yeah, seek. So this is like I got this idea from someone in Touch Designer actually. It's like audio-reactive playhead that goes like.
Was that Suspense?
I'm not sure. So this is.
He did a separate thing a while ago on that.
Somebody posted it in the ComfyUI subreddit. Like they're like, "Hey guys, I made this for Touch Designer," and then it was the Comfy Reddit, so everybody was like, "The fuck out of here, dude!" Like they flamed him. They flamed him a little bit.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's wrong sub. You could, but it's like.
Yeah, but it's like that's how you can do cool stuff with your diff runs. Yeah. Like think about all that, all the files we have in folders, right? It's like. Yeah. Making video samplers to play back that stuff is genius, Yeah,
and it's amazing work. And furthermore, he did it for free. He did this for free.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, fucking what a dick, dude. So I saw that in the that he did that for Touch Designer, and I was like, oh, better. I could do this for Comfy, so I did it for Comfy, and. I like put it out later that same day, and by the time I got back to Reddit, he had removed the post. So I don't know who he is, but whoever you are, thank you for the idea.
Man. We appreciate you.
Thank you. You're the man.
If Reddit doesn't.
Yeah, and we love you. Reddit is, it's a mixed bag over there.
Yeah, it sure is.
For sure. Yeah. What was I saying?
Video features.
Yeah. So the Yan nodes. Yeah. So it's just like, thanks to his hard work with this, because this thing's really cool. His IPAdapter transitions.
Yeah.
But now it doesn't have to be audio. It can be anything. So if like we could transition images like when there's too much movement in one, like, you get rid of it or something.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'll show you like a real world sort of example for using one of the mask nodes. And this is an audio-reactive LoRA, thanks to the new LoRA hook implementation by none other than Kosinkadink.
That stuff is absolutely wild.
Insane. He's the man.
If you guys haven't read that, go read Kosinkadink's blog post on the recent animate diff changes. It's dense. It's a little confusing, but what he's unlocked is actually extremely powerful. It's
insane.
Powerful.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. So he describes this little setup here, and he does a much better job than I would be able to, but. You can see that I'm sending it this mask, which is this. So I'm using the vocals, the RMS energy of the vocals to control the opacity of this mask of the boxer. What happens if can you hear the audio if I
no, the audio's muted, okay. But yeah.
Okay, no worries.
The idea.
But it's like so it's applying like a gold LoRA to the boxer when there's vocals.
So cool.
So that's a real world sort of example.
Yeah, so like just to expound on that a bit, like so imagine you've got a checkpoint loaded, and then you want to bring something else in with a LoRA with one of these features. That's now possible because of the stuff that Kosinkadink did. Like you can say, I want him to turn into Lego when something happens. Use a Lego LoRA to do that, or whatever you got, whatever LoRAs you have, whatever's on Civet is now an effect you can apply to anything, which is crazy.
What's awesome too is that you can do it to a specific region.
Yeah.
So before, what I would do a lot is latent noise. Set latent noise mask,
but it's got edge issues.
And then also like it's like a 50th as powerful as this, but it was like the next best thing, honestly, or like mask with like you could still do regions with IP adapters, and or you could like concatenate videos together to get around it. There's like creative solutions to this problem, but this solves all of those problems and adds a whole bunch of stuff. For instance, you can use a model as a LoRA now.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want anything. I just wanted regular here. This will take probably like 20 minutes to run, but let's see. And I would need to add the LCM LoRa in there, so maybe not. But you can use a whole model as a LoRa, and which means that using a mask, like the opacity of a mask or the region of a mask, you can have literally two checkpoints
mm-hmm.
In the same in the same diffusion process.
Super
so
powerful.
You could like
realistic and anime, or two completely conflicting styles.
Yeah, like directly, like you could slice it down the middle, or you could have it be half anime and half realistic, whatever
mm-hmm.
that might look like, just by using the opacity of the mask. So I did it specifically on the Boxer, but if you did if you just made like a gray mask, like a mask with a value of 0.5 everywhere for the entire thing, you could just split these two sets of conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very powerful stuff.
It's another nice thing about his workflow, and the way that works is normally when you start concatenating conditionings together, it actually slows your run down like by like double speed. Yeah, like playing with conditioning like makes your run much, much slower. But for whatever reason, passing it through his nodes, like it just doesn't affect the conditioning in that way. Like it's done, I guess, on the back end now, as opposed to in Comfy. So like if you were to like concatenate like several conditionings together, that run's going to take as longer, depending on how many different conditionings you're concatenating, it could take longer and longer to do the same amount of frames. But with this, it's actually this like regular speed, which is crazy.
The same.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't even know that was another improvement of it. Yeah, I haven't made a YouTube video in a while, but I think I should like probably put this one out just for.
Yeah, diving into that would help. I think explain this to people, because it's very esoteric when you read the blog post, but being able to see examples, I think will make people, the light bulb go off. Like, oh, I can do this, or I can do that.
Yeah, I'm honestly the same way. Like I can read that. I can read and understand it, and but I'm really not going to assimilate it into my lexicon or whatever, my like comfy vocab, until I actually use it. I just won't. I just don't care. I'm like
kinetic learner.
It's just boring, I don't want to be bored. And if I'm not bored, then I'll pick it up a lot better. That's just me. But
it's like whenever I get a paper and there's no code, I'm like, oh well, I'll put that in the vault. Not think about that until there's code.
So that's like the gist, the high level of my Flex feature system. And
super handy.
Another target that I should mention that's super, super powerful. I haven't played with it in a while, but particle emitters, you can. So we have this particle emission mask, and you can think of this as the particle simulator. And you can have as many emitters as you want in a simulator. Nice. So, this one we could put all the way to the left, and this one all the way to the right, and then like change the direction or whatever. Can't find it. Particle direction. Turn it around, something. You can have as many emitters as you want. So this would have two particle emitters shooting at each other, roughly, if I tweak the settings right.
Yeah.
And you can then modulate the emitters using features. So you can modulate the movement of the emitter. You can make it like move around the particle simulation while spraying particles.
Yeah, man.
you can modulate the spring joint behavior. This is a way to modulate how the particles interact with one another. So when you like crank this spring joint stuff up, they like stick together almost, and like they just behave differently.
Oh, like dampening and
yeah,
what do they call that? Collision, but like sticky collision.
Yeah, exactly. The opposite of bouncy.
Yeah,
like sticky. Whatever. Yeah, English. So you can modulate particles, like individual particles, not individual, but all the particles from this emitter. You can modulate. You can chain these ones together, and and all of these you can modulate with features. So you can change the speed, or the size, or the color. And we could have the color change with the vocals, the speed change with, whatever. Like we could have the motion of particles from the other particle emitter control the speed of the particles in this emitter.
Super cool.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff. There's vortices, so this will like suck particles in, and gravity wells.
Just so you guys know, doing this stuff in Blender or Houdini, like maybe is more powerful, but it is not as intuitive as this, where you're like, well, I want the audio to do this thing. It's like you're gonna have to build the whole system to do that every time in Blender or Houdini. Whereas here, because of these nodes, right, you can just like, if you just think of the particle system as another thing that Comfy can do now, you can plug stuff into it. It's so cool.
Thanks. Yeah, and you can draw static bodies, so you can just like draw boxes or lines and stuff that the particles will interact with. But cool. My favorite thing is that you can pass in a mask. So if we, for instance, passed in the mask of this boxer, and checked this box respect mask boundary, the particles would bounce off of the boxer.
Oh, I love that.
So you can like make the particles aware of the stuff in your images if you give it a mask to work with.
Hey, Kat says this is years of content to play with in one node pack.
Yeah, I struggle to like put together all the possible examples for stuff. If anyone takes an interest in it, that would be great. Because
document my nodes for me, would you?
Yeah. Oh, I've got some decent documentation. I did these little help menus for everything, which is sort of obsolete now that they added the tooltip system in.
Mm.
But I gotta go back.
That's super handy. That's super duper handy.
But they added the tooltip system. I don't know if I have it disabled, but it makes this sort of obsolete. But yeah, I was gonna pull up an example of this, what you can do with the particle emitter from my Civet page.
Nice. Oh, let me link that in the chat too. I don't know if I'm following you on Civet.
I'm Ryan on the inside.
We'll be fixing that right now. Right now, the Canadian came out a little bit.
Right now? Oh, Canadian, yeah.
Right now.
I'll do a jig on your fucking insides.
CivTI user Ryan on the inside. All right, I'm going to post this in the chat for everybody. If you want to play with you got the workflows on here too as well?
Yeah, a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, Midjourney Man? What's up, Taz? We love Midjourney Man.
We do.
Midjourney Man has a fantastic LoRA available on CivTI called Tattooed Beehole. I won't pull it up on stream, but if you want to turn your NSFW filters off at home and go have a look, I highly recommend perusing that. It's something else.
Oh yeah.
I believe it's Tatted Beehole. Just for
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. My girl's actually a tattoo artist, so I was gonna have her tattoo my certain parts eventually, for sure.
Just ComfyUI nodes.
Yeah, tattoo. Oh, dude, that's actually a sick idea, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it now. Just like I'm gonna get like a a classic animate diff. No, maybe I should just get the default one with the Galaxy bottle and like on my, just right here. Or should I do like a mess like this, like some horrifying
just
thing,
a
like
noodle mess.
Yeah, this looks like a good back piece,
Yeah. Like, what is that workflow? It actually doesn't work.
This, yeah,
it's a completely unfunctional workflow on your back.
It's like it works if I was passing in better images, like I was trying to do it with these huge images from Flux, but animate diff struggles with or not animate diff, rather stable diffusion struggles with different sizes for image to image stuff.
That's true. But even Comfy itself kind of sucks once you get over 720p.
Yeah. So this is like, you guys can't, I don't know if you can hear the audio or not, but it's moving to the music, I promise.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that's like, oh yeah, you can see the
particles really come out with that like liquid. Like that's one of the coolest things about Animate Diff is like it's so good at liquids and like like all the stuff that takes forever in traditional 3D software is actually really fast and comfy and Animate Diff, like water and all the horrible simulation stuff.
Yeah. So other and some other stuff I didn't mention. Akatz, he made these Depthflow nodes, and they're fully compatible with the feature system. So you can you can control that entire suite of nodes that he made. You can control with anything.
Beautiful.
So extremely powerful stuff. Thanks to him, it's super awesome.
Cosman says he's just finishing a workflow with Ryan's nodes, but for post-processing, background replaced them with all kinds of modulations, dropping it on Bano in 2 hours. Keep your eyes peeled for that, y'all.
Yes, dude. Yes.
The communitying.
Community. Shout out Banodoco. Really.
Yeah. If you guys aren't on awesome. Bano, it's BANODOCO.ai, and the Discord link is on there.
Yeah, just like
there and just hang out because that's where all the nerds are at. Doing
I made friends there, learned a lot there, and it's like a great place to co-mingle with other weirdos.
It's a great place to watch Kajai do his thing.
If
you want to be on the cutting edge of whatever's just come out, like go to the channel and just let him cook and watch him cook, man. It's like and help go test stuff and help him figure out, because like as a community, not that we have a duty to do it, but we definitely have it's a good idea to go help the people that are making their tools for us, right?
And like Kajai, what a guy. What a guy, Kajai. Let me check this here. So I actually was looking at this the other day.
Oh yeah, I forgot about your Audio-reactive LivePortrait stuff too. We should talk about that when we're done.
Yeah, for sure. But so like here's the Cog Video wrapper. This is one of the things that he's like blessed us all with. And look at it, 102 issues open. Like this man needs and it's not like, I guarantee you 80% of these issues are people being like, it doesn't work,
or I can't get Sage Attention working, and it's like it's been solved though here.
So poor guy, like shout out Kajai, and he needs a whole team.
Like shout out to all the makers too. Like everybody works. Nobody's making money doing this stuff really. Like the companies make money, but the devs don't. But the people who package their tools make money. So if you're using a tool a lot and you can find that user's Ko-Fi or Patreon and just do what you can, because like open source can burn you out real fast. Trying to solve issues for people all day long, making new features and building out stuff. You're not getting paid for it. It's a labor of love, and that love fades. So help out the community people. And
also you occasionally get blamed on Reddit for your hard work.
Exactly.
Yeah. I appreciate that sentiment. I agree. I agree totally. But yeah, absolutely.
Ryan, we need proper modulation matrix like a modular synth, please, man. With implemented auto convert float to number string, etc.
Is this the same? Is this the issue open or the issue on the GitHub that's been sitting there forever?
Ooh, possibly.
Yeah.
Is it from the Cusman?
Yeah,
yep.
It is.
There you go.
I mean, so
He's
I looked
come here
at
to bother you.
Yeah, it's all good. It's I really think that it's going to be a lot of work for not a lot of payoff.
Right.
Is what I'm thinking. But maybe I'm not understanding the idea totally. But I do have to. I try to think about like how many people it would benefit.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Let me find it. But let's revisit it.
Yeah, Kuzman. He says he knows it's hard as fuck.
Yeah. It's like, and I could get that one thing going, or I could make, I could do all this real-time work and contribute that to the community, or, make some other features or something. Like I whacked out this Audio-reactive LivePortrait. So
I love the eye one, just wiggling back and forth.
Yeah. Flex fucking feature. What is it, dude? Expression? Dude, no way I forget my own.
Oh, I do this all the time.
Expression? Dude. It's like expression editor? I guess it's not installed here. I thought it was a part of my node pack. It's supposed to be anyways. The heck?
What the heck? What's up, Shadow?
Yeah, but yeah, I could try to find figure it out. I don't know if we care or not. I hope I'm not just talking too much or
no, you're doing great. Shadow says he needs to audio react this 10-hour ambient song. Yeah, good luck, buddy.
10-hour ambient song?
Ambient, yeah. Ambient step.
Nice,
that's when you take 3 ambient and try to stay awake and make dubstep.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. So I forgot, there's also audio oh yeah, there's all these audio processing nodes I forgot to mention, like audio concatenate, resample, subtract, combine, dither. There's cool. Filters, so audio, and then there's like custom filters or preset filters.
Oh,
but
neat.
What I was getting at was audio. What the heck, man? What's audio? Is it called? Oh
Ted
yeah.
Says no clue how anyone can be this good at making stuff like this. I tried making my first ComfyUI nodes this last week, and I've never felt more stupid. And it didn't do 1/100th of what these nodes do. Ryan's a developer. He came at this from a development background, so I think you'll find that with a lot of people that are making these nodes. Like you can whack these nodes out with Claude, but it's an uphill struggle. If you already understand programming, it's a hell of a lot easier.
Oh, so much easier just knowing like like a few like pattern like, dude, saying that I came at this as a developer is being it's true, but generous still, because I didn't necessarily have a plan. Like I was making these nodes. The first ones I made were like these time fucking, I forget what they're called. They're like these temporal effects. Yeah, I called them temporal, I guess. Mm-hmm. And those ones, like you can use like settings to morph a mask, for instance, and make it grow like this, but you can only do it like with like sine waves and stuff.
Yeah.
So I made those, and then I was like, oh, what if I like, instead of using a sine wave, I used like something else instead and made it like modular. So then I made like one thing and made the masks modular, and had the foresight to make this feature system modular, but not the foresight to make the target modular. So then when I added images, there's a bit of like, it's not perfect. My point is, any developers out there, if you look at this code, take it easy on me, because I need to refactor. I need to refactor it.
This is an iterative process, right? Like,
and
it is what it is.
I didn't know that people would even use them, and then people like made workflows, and I made workflows, and the way that Comfy works, if I change any of the nodes in any way at all, it'll break all of them. So now we're just like kind of stuck here until I put out like version 2, which will break everything all at once.
Yep.
Kind of stuck. But
I would also say that's to be expected with ComfyUI. Like, it's nice when people like do what they can to keep stuff working, but don't expect it. Don't, especially with independent software developers that are doing nodes for the love of it. Like, the fact that Animate Diff hasn't, still works is amazing. It probably shouldn't. The amount of changes that Kos has done and maintain backwards compatibility is absolutely mind-boggling.
He's the man. And really, I'm taking my cues sort of like from guys like that. Like really, really trying to treat people out there, the way that he treats me, basically. Like he's never broken anything of mine. Which is just awesome. And so, and he did that. There's some artifacts of this, like I can't remember what they're called, but there's like the legacy Animate Diff stuff in here still.
Mm-hmm.
It'll probably be in there till the end of time, or at least a couple more versions.
Because if your whole workflow hinges on it, then it is what it is.
And it's like, what if somebody's using this in like a production environment, like making money? So speaking of ambient step, you can also use audio to control audio. So
that's tricky.
Time stretch, it's you can just like do all the dumbest stuff that you can think of with these notes. Like you can, so time stretch, it'll like change. There's also audio pitch shift, and some other ones, but you can like use audio. I just find it hilarious that you can like use audio to modulate audio, which you could then use to modulate something else, and then like fade them together and oscillate them, and then you have nonsense that doesn't matter. But latent.
Shadow says Paul Stretch type beats. Love Paul Stretch.
I don't know it.
It's like a granular stretching tool, so you can take like a wave file that's like a minute long and make it like 3 hours long. It just nice. Stretches out the granularly. So I did it with like In the Air Tonight, the Phil Collins tune once, and it made it into a 20-minute like song, and it's just like this crazy, because you can hear the harmonics start to come in from each note like over time and stuff. It's really sick.
Like you hear like the harmonics, like each note lasts for like
note
a whole minute
forever, and then you can hear as it changes into the next one, and it's really cool.
This band Meshuggah, you might know. Someone out there might know Meshuggah. It's like one of my favorite bands, has been for a while. But there's this song Bleed that they have. It's like a really fast song. It's like one of their, a lot of people know that song in particular. But my actual favorite version of Bleed is Bleed, but 20% slower. And it's just like, dude, it's
That's
extra.
Cool.
It's like when you slow things down, make things deeper too. They play eight string guitars. Which and you just make things make things deeper. It's heavier, Gotta love it.
Swedish geometrical metal.
Exactly. That's exactly how it's describe it. So we were saying, Flex Expression Editor. That's what it is called. Why isn't it in here? Flex Expression. What is?
No love, baby.
Dude, not fair.
Is it all one word, maybe? I know Comfy does that weirdness sometimes.
I have an idea. I'm going to see if I can find it and like find the workflow from. So
yeah,
you call it
the idea being that Ryan hooked up all this stuff into LivePortrait. And if you guys were watching a couple streams ago, I was playing with the real-time LivePortrait stuff where you can play with the expression of someone's face. So just imagine all the stuff we've been talking about, but you can do it with the, the direction of the eyes or the mouth size, the smiling and the lip pursing and stuff. So it's trippy. It's super trippy.
I just figured it out. So this this thingamajig, this Flex expression editor wasn't loading because it depends on the Advanced LivePortrait node.
Okay. Yeah.
Sweet. By the powerhouse man.
Mr.
He, yeah, not Kajai's. The other one, Powerhouse Man is the author.
Oh.
Yeah. I have a fork of Kajai's as well that enables, like, I can't remember. It was a while ago, but I did some stuff to it. It was like one of the first things I
ComfyUI Advanced LivePortrait. I'll drop the link in the chat.
Yeah, Advanced LivePortrait by Powerhouse Man. So we use his hard work. He did all the real hard work here, and I just sort of piggybacked on it to make. So he's got that expression editor, and we can just control it with features. So,
Yeah, I love the idea of wiring this stuff into everything because we can.
Yeah, why not? And my idea was to keep it as much as possible, keep this work independent of the underlying models. So, there's always going to be a use case for dynamic masking, and there's always going to be a use case for like modulating depth or like whatever the hell you're doing, Yeah,
like I talk about this a lot, but if you want to go deeper into these tools, like learning compositing and what masks are and how they affect things, will up your game like multitudes and multitudes. You can use them before you process stuff. You can use them while you're processing stuff, and you can use them after you've processed stuff. So yeah, like masks are the secret sauce of the entire VFX industry, really.
Yeah, they really are, and I feel like, we were talking about like fluency in ComfyUI, and I think that's a core principle for fluency, is to be able to manipulate masks and images interchangeably. It by that I mean like the image object here, and the mask object. I don't have an example at the moment, but the green ones, the mask. If you can like manipulate those interchangeably, like fluently, I feel like that's a huge step towards being able to use this as like a paintbrush,
And there are things like SAM2 and BiRefNet that let you just pull masks out of videos, so you can pre-process things. You can make masks, on the fly as well. So, yeah, definitely something to dive into if you're feeling like you've hit a wall or you're plateauing in Comfy. Start diving into masks because, like, boom, like everything just opens up.
Yeah, it's maybe like the single most powerful element. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my workflows are based on doing like RGB CMY, like animated masks, and then like masking different contexts into those spaces. So like, absolutely, like I'm a mask queen.
Nice. Same. And yeah, masks. But I do think masks might be the most powerful element that you can use in ComfyUI. But I think I'm going to have to say the most powerful single parameter in ComfyUI has to be the denoise level. When you have two samplers, like you often do in workflows like this one, manipulating these values here, you can just, like, if you start to, like, when I started thinking about these like using these effectively, like when I started thinking about them in sort of a different way, like allowing some of the stuff from the input image into the output, it sort of unlocked, like if you get stuck, maybe start considering, maybe start thinking about messing with this denoise value.
It's almost like latent opacity, like what you're feeding into the K sampler, you're revealing it or mixing it with the dream at that level. So your denoise is essentially like how much of the input are you using versus how much of the dream, which is like a huge part of like how Deforum worked. The strength in Deforum was literally just riding the denoise.
Yeah, and all these apps that you see out there in the wild, like the creativity slider is going to be this.
Yeah.
Denoise. And I didn't, for the longest time, I just ignored this. I didn't know what it did. But if you set denoise to 0, and we're doing an image to image workflow or something, you will get the input image literally as the output. And then if you do it at 1, you get the total dream with a slight influence of the input image. But that's how I did those let me pull it up. These audio visualizers.
Yeah, we played with this on the last stream. Super powerful.
Yeah, so like this one right here, like I've just made like a simple line, like audio visualizer out of a line. It's like a white line. I don't know if you use this one, but
yeah, it was the one with Kamala, the
slime one,
slimes and limes and Kamala, and
yeah.
Ended up making Thunderbirds Kamala because I had a Thunderbirds image in the pasted image queue. It was good stuff.
Yeah,
I love a good happy accident.
Yeah, that's what that was for me. Also, was that whole thing was a happy accident. Like I don't know if I did that I actually don't remember if I did that on purpose or not. But I laughed out loud when I saw like her face come out of the slime like that. I was like, oh my god,
nailed it.
Yeah, perfect. It's exactly what I was going for. Oh yeah, I posted that one on Reddit and I got downvoted so hard because
what the hell?
Because the first frame of it was like Kamala. It was Kamala's face in a ball of slime. So like if you were just looking at it, and we're talking about Reddit.
You just
looking at it, you see like, oh, this guy is shitting on Kamala, downvote. So I got if they had just watched, I'm struggling to find the word, but it was like a description of our entire system. Like it had Kamala and it had Trump and it had a clown, and they were all fusing with the slime. It was a commentary. That's what a commentary on our political system. But you wouldn't know that if all you looked at was the first frame. So I actually took it down off Reddit. I was like,
it's like sending the wrong message, even though it wasn't the message to begin with. I know. Good old Reddit. We love you, Reddit. Never change.
Yeah, I do. I do love Reddit. And I love the people in the ComfyUI subreddit. Everybody's like super supportive, and no one's ever shit on me there. It's awesome. Driving video. How do I do this, man? I don't remember.
How do I use my nodes?
Yeah, Flex Audio-reactive.
Trap Nation Visualizer 2.0 says Shadow. Yeah, basically. But yeah, I mean, you can make those style of visualizers with that workflow, and they come out looking super duper cool.
Oh, these things?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Milk Drop, but with 10,000 times the compute requirement.
Yeah.
Like it's like not even as good as Milk Drop. Well, I guess it is.
It's just different. Yeah, no, it's interesting because that can go anywhere, like beyond, the crystal one is insane.
Yeah, these are like pretty fun. Yeah, and this one, where am I, dude? Like this smiley face one was really fun to make. This one was pretty cool too. The face.
The mouth. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and like this is I wonder if you can guess how I did this. This is just the open pose of my face.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, you know, can you tell that this
now
is like
I can. I wouldn't have caught that if you didn't say it, but now I can see it now. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's like that.
It's
This
cool
is
that it
all
even added the depth of the surround.
roundness.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Yeah, I might have said like face in the prompt or something, or
So
like
cool.
Oh, I did. I said disembodied face, I think.
Very cool.
So this is just an example of manipulating that denoise level, because what we sent in was an image of this white line visualizing the audio,
Mm-hmm.
and the open pose image, like literally the colored lines of my face. And we sent that in and let probably, I don't know, 40% of the input image through. And it gives us this.
Yeah.
Like that denoise, and this is with no control nets, no nothing. Like it's just from manipulating that denoise value. Actually, this does have control nets in it. Now that I'm thinking about it, but you can. The point is, you can do this without control nets. Like these other audio visualizers here, like this one. This has no. This has no control nets. I don't think.
Which is definitely something to consider if you have a low VRAM card, like if you have a 8 gig card or something. You know, control net, IPAdapter, all that stuff, it starts to add more and more VRAM requirements. So just feeding stuff right into the VAE decoder and playing with the denoise is like one of the lowest VRAM, lowest impact things you can do and get incredible results out of it. So definitely something to think about if you keep hitting that VRAM wall.
Yeah, man, I can't wait for a freaking new computer. So
32 gigs in the 5090, baby.
I've just been shoveling money into the RunPod furnace.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Well, that's it. Like that's the thing I always try to explain is like you pay for the compute somehow. Compute is not free. All this stuff takes compute. Whether you rent it or buy it, you got to pay for it, unfortunately. And that's one of the things that closed source services do well is they convert GPU to credits. So if you don't want to screw around with the innards of stuff, then, you know, like Runway and Sora and that stuff, that's perfect for just uploading stuff and writing prompts and hitting the thing. But if you want to dive into the guts and play with the way things work, this is the way to go.
Yeah. Sorry, I just realized I'm like turning my head from the camera. That's because you are on my other monitor, so I'm like,
oh no worries.
Looking at you like this whole time, not even looking at the
5090 camera. Is supposedly going to be stupid expensive. Yes, I think they're saying 2,500 for the 5090 US.
I'll pay it, dude.
Yeah,
I'll do it. I will do it. Take my money, please.
But yeah, I mean, 32 gigs and apparently at least twice as fast as a 4090 is absolutely wild.
Like I'm paying so much money to rent a stupid 4090 here. Like I could just buy one, you know. Like honestly, if I could go back, I would have borrowed money to buy a 4090.
Yeah.
Rather than spend the amount that I've spent on RunPod. Like, but then again, I didn't know that I was about to become fully obsessed with ComfyUI. So I had no idea what I was in for. But
that's sort of it. Yeah. Like, yeah, it's definitely worth getting something if you can, but you know, this shit's expensive. It's an expensive hobby. And that sucks.
It does. And I do think at some point this is going to become a more marketable skill.
Yeah.
It already is in many ways,
but
I think that as time goes on, like ComfyUI has been out for what, 2 years?
Yeah, year and a half, 2 years.
January 2023, and dude, it's caught on like literally like wildfire. It's insane. So I think being fluent in ComfyUI, there's something to be said for it. That's just my opinion. Like definitely, Oh, by the way, I'm running on like 3 hours of sleep, so I have like a serious IQ debuff right now. Like, I'm like even dumber than normal. So
if it doesn't show, so don't sweat.
I'm sure I've rambled a little bit, so thank you for your patience, everybody. Anyways, Flex expression editor started working just now. So we're using let's see, we're using an audio feature and then a manual feature and then another audio feature to modulate these expressions respectively here. So boom, boom, and boom.
Love it.
And you can, and here's the one I was looking for earlier, renormalize. So instead of it being from 0 to 1, we made it from -1 to 1.
Oh, sick.
And what that allows, because these values in the Flex expression editor go from negative to positive, like people. Goes, so you can look all the way that way on the x-axis or all the way that way. So that this going from -1 to 1 and using an absolute means it's modulates the parameter relative to 0.
Okay.
And relative will modulate it relative to this value. But so in this case, it'll make her eyes go from all the way left to all the way right. If we look at this part here, so right at 40 frames, she'll be looking all the way to the left, but then at 47 frames or whatever this is, she'll be looking all the way to the right.
Yeah.
And it'll make her eyes jiggle to the music. So you can you select.
I love the head bobbing too. It's like getting down.
And you select for each of these expression editors, you can only modulate one of the facial features, facial expressions. You can only modulate one at a time, but you can chain as many of these together as you want.
I love it.
So you can, you could modulate anything. You can even modulate the same thing twice, and it will just change the starting position of the following expression editor. I've only spent so much time messing with it, but you can do all sorts of weird stuff. Constrain, min, max. Let's turn these off here so I can show you some freaking exorcism simulator stuff. Let's call this like -100.
Here we go. This is the cool thing about this particular process, this live portrait expression stuff doesn't use diffusion, so it's actually really fast and really low VRAM, so that you can do this on pretty much anything.
Yeah, it's really great. See how fast this is, and it's actually oftentimes I don't know why. Yeah, so maybe I did it a little too strong, but yeah, probably. Let's
it's perfect.
We'll still take a look at that for sure.
But
frame numbers 1.
Yeah, like basically, if this thing runs out of data, it just hallucinates because it's not dreaming; it's just moving stuff around. So yeah, that's why.
So
looks crazy though. Oh my god!
So the reason I knew that this exorcism stuff would happen because I turned this off. So in his original expression editor, he built this expression editor, and I just made a new one that's like with a little extra power. But in this, you're constrained by the node itself.
Right.
Like you cannot go past. But if we just turn this setting off here, you can go beyond the recommended settings.
Yep.
And just do some weird stuff. But the reason I did that was not less for the exorcism stuff and more for like cartoonish stuff that's made like actually possibly still useful. Like really wide open eyes or really wide open mouth, like cartoonishly, like funny sort of expression stuff.
Yeah, because the tools were originally made to replicate human movement, but this is comfy.
Yeah, and so you could like do this. What if you were trying to make a cartoon, like a funny cartoon? Then you could do that.
Go past.
Go past.
Gotta go fast.
This is actually going like kind of slow. I wonder why. But a lot of the times this will go like faster than real time. I've found. The Advanced LivePortrait node.
Akatz is dipping. He says, awesome demo and stream. Take it easy, buddy.
Love you, man. I can't wait to try your thingamajig, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we've been talking about this a lot lately, is getting a condom around Comfy is probably not a bad idea these days. You're running Comfy on RunPod, which is already a bit of a condom, but if you're running Comfy locally, we've been having issues with some of the custom nodes have got some malicious payloads in them lately.
Really?
Yeah, Ultralytics and something else. Yeah, Ultralytics had a miner. Thankfully, it was just a Bitcoin miner, but because these custom nodes have access to your computer, there is always potential for malicious behavior. So what Akatz has done is built an environment manager for Comfy that will put Comfy inside of a Docker. So you're essentially sequestering it away from access to the vital parts of your machine. So it won't be able to install keyloggers or like any of the horrible stuff that is possible right now. Which is another reason why I always say, don't download random workflows off of websites and Reddit and stuff and install custom nodes blindly. Check every custom node pack that you install. Make sure the author is verified. Make sure they have, many stars. You don't not to say that brand new developers shouldn't be supported, but if somebody just comes out of the blue with a random node pack and, it could have some bad stuff in it. So just be careful.
For sure.
Yeah, just be careful be safe. Comfy can be as powerful as it is because of that side effect of that power is, giving access to parts of your computer you may not want to.
Yeah, since it supports so much, it's just like it's exactly like a Mac computer versus a Windows computer.
Mm-hmm.
Macs, they break way less. They're way easier to use. They're way more user friendly. They work really well with other Mac stuff, but that's it. They don't. Whereas Windows supports all sorts of stuff, including viruses.
Yeah, yeah.
Comfy is like Windows, or even it's like Windows probably. Just take off my sweatshirt here.
Yeah, it's just it's because it's like an open source environment, and yeah. But so my point is, just be careful out there. Don't get sucked into downloading workflows day one unless you're a developer yourself and you know how to read the code. And even then, this Ultralytics thing actually slipped past Lieutenant Dr. Data, the guy who makes Manager. Like, it was in his impact pack. Like, it's the attack vectors are massive and they're everywhere. So even people who do this all day it went past them. So there's a good chance it'll go past you too.
Yeah, Lieutenant Dr. Data is a serious dude,
Yeah. He works hard at Manager, and he cares about security, and that's not to say that he was slipping or anything. I mean, the guy maintains insane amounts of nodes. So
exactly. My point was really that even a guy as serious and as advanced as him,
mm-hmm.
I know that it's not. I'm not in any way trying to lay blame on him or anything that. It was more like, be really careful, because even the raddest dudes out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But so if it's like a small amount of code, like maybe a new developer put a node that looks interesting, you could always feed it to Claude or ChatGPT.
They're really good at identifying malicious code.
Yeah. You can be like, yo, check this out, make sure this is safe, and that's better than nothing.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Because your virus checker won't catch it. This isn't the kind of stuff that Windows Defender's gonna see, because they're you're actually when you're using this stuff, you're bypassing all of that. Really, you're just giving it access willy-nilly to everything. So yeah, because we need that access to do certain things, but also it opens you up. So just be careful. That's all.
Yeah, and like it could be making calls to the internet, and you would never notice.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, there
Never
was one
notice
really
at all.
bad one that was part of shoot. It was LLM Vision, I think. It was some pack of LLM Vision nodes, and they were sending keyloggers and data to an address on somebody's machine somewhere. So, people got owned for sure on that one.
This was a custom node.
Yes, called LLM Vision or something.
That's
so yeah.
fucking brutal,
if you see that
dude.
come up in your workflow, delete that workflow. Do not install. That's what the other thing I'm talking about is when you install missing custom nodes, don't check the checkbox on the left and hit install. Like look at all the nodes packs that it's going to install and make sure they're all by legit developers. And if they aren't, you probably don't have to run that workflow. Let someone else get owned.
Or use Akatz's condom,
or wrap it in an environment manager like that. And I mean, Docker does run a little slower, I think, on the workflows, but the safety is definitely worth it if you're trying out weird stuff. So that's probably maybe a better idea, is having that as your sort of playground, and then have your own protected setup that you use normally. So if you want to dive into the latest stuff, wrap it up.
Wrap it up, kids. It's not worth it. A little too far.
She's mad. She's big mad.
Yeah. Big mad, biting her own face. Sorry.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so I could play with this stupid thing forever, but
Civitai is a site full of many wonders.
Yeah.
Many
I call
wonders.
it Civit AI. Have I been wrong this whole time?
No, I think that's right. I don't know. I think it's both. I think it's anything we want. It's community. But yeah, man, this has been a great stream, but it's probably a good place to wrap it up.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me, dude.
Absolutely.
For even asking me to come on. It's just really it's I'm not trying to be hyperbolic here, but it's sort of an honor,
Oh, come on.
Appreciate it.
No, that's the other thing. You guys go follow Ryan on Twitter. We got to get those numbers up. A lot of the comfy devs are toiling in obscurity because nobody's following them, because everyone's following the goddamn influencers. So stop following influencers and start following the people that actually make the stuff that the influencers post.
You know what I mean? Throw me a follow. I'm lonely, especially on Twitter. I like just made a Twitter like a couple months ago and don't really use it like as much as I would if I had some people to interact with,
Yeah.
But also give me a follow on YouTube if you want. I'm pretty active on YouTube too.
Yeah.
So
follow Ryan everywhere, and follow me. Hit the Patreon if you want to support what we do here. And do you have anything you want to talk about, like a pitch or any upcoming stuff you got coming up? You wanna shout out before we?
I mean, keep an eye out for this real time stuff. I'm going to be working. I have a feeling I'm going to be working on this stuff a little bit more going forward. I think it's going to be absolutely insane. And eventually I'm going to release a product. I've been working on it. I'm sort of like locked into something at the moment, but eventually I'll be releasing some sort of product. And when that time comes, I hope you guys use it.
Yeah, man, I'll shout it out for sure.
Rad.
Awesome. Well, thanks for hanging out, dude. Really appreciate it. Appreciate the breakdown. And get some sleep, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. Thanks again for having me, dude.
Absolutely. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you all next week. I'll be back with have a good New Year. Have a good Christmas. Do all the fun stuff.
Yeah, same to you, man.
Yeah, have a good one, everybody. Take it easy.
Later.